Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I am Anushka Virulkar from the Solar Labs, and today we'll be talking about the product updates which we have in the Solar Labs. So last week, a lot of updates and changes have been rolled out from the software side, and most of you must have noticed these changes and used these new updates as well. But if you haven't, then you can just press Control plus Shift plus R on your keyboard, go in the software and refresh it, and then you'll be introduced to the whole new interface of the Solar Labs. So, just giving a small overview, here are the updates, new updates which have been introduced in the software. So we have a detailed consumption profile where you can specify what kind of a consumption profile. You can select a consumption profile specific to your site, and the software will simulate the results accordingly. So we'll be looking into that. We'll also be seeing the new customized single line and 3-line diagram in the software. With the report, we have got 2 new themes apart from the default theme which was already existing. So we'll be having a look at that as well. And the 3D view has also changed. So we'll be seeing what all changes we have in the 3D view. The user interface has been changed, made more organized and detailed. So the users, it is more convenient for the users to work on the application. And we have improvised pricing, and we have added the options to add incentives as well. We also have the wire size calculator, which I'll be demonstrating during the demo. So this entire session will be divided into 2 parts. First, the demonstration, where I'll be demonstrating all these new updates in the software. And next, we'll be having a question answer round after the session. So if you have any questions, you can put those up there. If you get any questions in the middle of the session, you can just put it in the chat box, and we'll see if we can resolve it there and then good. And if we'll be discussing this thing further, so we'll wait for some time. Okay, so starting with the demo. So as you can see, this is our new page, the home page, where you have the list of all your projects and your all the options right here. Very organized, very visually pleasing. So let's create a new project right here. So the process is similar. You enter either your coordinates or the address of your site, and you just get it inside this box. And now we have updated it that the compulsory fields to create a project are being marked with an asterisk. So you need a project name. So I'll just name it as webinar demo. Let's put up today's date. And client name, let's keep it as webinar. The other details again are optional. Here you have the share project button, which is to show, which is to make your projects visible to other people in your organization. And I'll just click on create project. So this will transport me to my project summary page. So this is my project summary page. Here I have the option for the weather file. So this is showing what weather file it has selected right now. It is the meteornom file. You can upload your own file right here and just save it. Next is the consumption. So when you click on add consumption, you get this whole new updated feature. Right here, you have the consumption profile, where you have the option to select the type of your consumption and the profile. So going into this, we have 2 types of consumption, the residential and the commercial. So let's take a look at the residential type. In the residential type, we have got these multiple profiles right here, 5 profiles. So each of these profiles have a description. So this is so that you can select the one which is most apt for your site. So these profiles are nighttime focused. Next is the retirees or working from home. This is a single or 2-person household, and a family with infants or preschool children, and family with school-age children. So these are actually specifying the most mostly used hours of the day, and you can just select it according to which is nearest to your consumption detail. Next is the, if I go on commercial, and even in the commercial we have got 4 profiles. So the shopping hours profile, which is for 6 days a week. There is next is the weekdays profile for 5 days a week for offices, for cafeterias. This is the evening focus consumption, which is for the businesses which are running mostly in the evening. You have got the examples like the hotels, the restaurants, gas stations. And next is the constant energy consumptions, which for the places which are constantly running, constantly consuming power throughout the week, 7 days a week. So you have the examples of all in each of the profiles. You can, so it makes your job easier while selecting the suitable profile for your site. So I'll just select my shopping hours profile, which is nearest to my consumption of my site, and press on confirm. Once you have selected your profile, you can just click on update. And next we'll come on to these other details afterwards. Let's go back on the project summary page and click on add new design. So I'll just name it as a design 1 only and press confirm. So you are being transported directly to the studio. So the layout is similar as to what it was earlier. On the left hand side, all the tools are there. On the right hand side, the properties are there. So in the model tool, we have got one more additional model, which is the pitch roof, which is mostly for the residential roofs which we have in the Western countries. But for now, we'll be selecting this Polygon tool, and I'll just zoom in a little bit and start mapping out my building. So once I've drawn one of my sides, you can see I'm getting a yellow dotted line. So these are the guidelines which have been introduced for your layout. So as you can see, they are in order to make sure that you are making the exact alignment or not with your previously drawn line segments. So after doing this, we'll just adjust our properties for the building. And make it placeable so that we can place our modules afterwards on it. So I've mapped out my outer boundary, and I'll just map out this boundary, and I'll press P on my keyboard for Polygon tool. Just draw this out. So once I'm just drawing it here and getting the guideline right here, the line segments are already snapping at edges, already snapping at 90 degrees, but this guideline also makes it visually more easier for us to draw it. So it is giving me a correct idea of the edge here. I'll just adjust my parapet height and thickness, make it placeable, and I'll click on update. So before moving forward, I'll just give you the 3D view right here. So in the 3D view, as I said, we have changed the 3D view. As you can see, earlier we used to get a plain white surface. Instead of that, now we are getting the lifted up roof from the Google map images itself. And so it gives a more aesthetic, more realistic visualization of our site. So as you can see, I drew the Mumty right here, and it has been lifted up from its original place. So I get a more realistic visual of my site. So I'll just go back on 2D and finish up my site. Let's draw this one as well. Selecting the Polygon tool. So now you can see I'm getting the guidelines everywhere. adjust it. You can adjust your edges afterwards as well. And I'll just make the change the properties. 2.5. I'll give this a parapet height of say 0.5. I'll update. For this one as well, I'll just go ahead and draw it. So these guidelines are actually making my work much more faster. We are done with this. We have several vents here. So I'll just draw one of these vents. Give this a height of 1.5 meters. Just update it. And we have 3 more similar vents. So I'll just go ahead and press Ctrl C and Ctrl V to copy this and press R to get my repeat count has been activated here. So repeat tool. So I'll just press 3 on this and get 3 copies and place them right here. So I can just adjust my copy. And I'm done with the vents here. There are several more. So I'll just draw these as well. These vents, even these, I can just press Ctrl C and Ctrl V, press R on my keyboard and click on 2, and I'll get 2 vents. There are multiple upright structure right here as well, so I'll draw one of these. So copy paste comes and repeat tool especially comes in very handy when we have multiple similar structures which are equidistant most of the time, or even if not equidistant, then we can just make multiple copies and adjust the distances accordingly. We have got a kind of a storage unit right here. I'm assuming this to be a storage unit. I'll draw this out also. Give this a height of say 1.75. We have this pipe situation as well. So we can draw it using Polygon tool only. Just start drawing it from here. Zoom in a little bit. Adjust my edges. Change the properties for this one as well. So if I go in the 3D view now, so our site in terms of the structures and the obstacles on roof, it has been completed. So as you can see, all these have been lifted up from their place only, and it looks much more realistic. So now I can just go ahead and place my panels, and I'll just click on my site and click on fill face, and I'll change my properties from here. Give this a tilt of 5 in the southwest direction. You can change your table size up and wide. Just have 2 row tables with a 3 meter amount height. And click on it. So this is how my panel placement looks like. So I'll save my design now so that we can further use our solar access tool. Now I'll click on solar access and refresh it. Okay. So we have our solar axis right here, and we have a few red panels. So I'll just go on the sub array and click on optimize. So I'm getting my slider right here. I'll just remove these extra panels and close this. So I've optimized my site as well, and I'll save it. So the optimized tool is a quicker way of removing lower efficiency panels. One more way in which we can remove these panels is, suppose I don't want my panels to be in here. So I'll just drag and select them and click on delete. Similarly for these, just delete them like this. So now my site is complete. I have some space here as well on the multi. So I'll just click on fill face again and just change my properties according to my need. Give this direction azimuth and southeast and a 2-row table. Click on it. So my site is complete now. And now we can move on to place our inverters. So in the components, we go in the components and in the inverter menu and click on string inverter. Let's take up a 200 kilowatt inverter. Place it and press enter. I'll just place it against this wall. So for this, I just need to click on my polygon and see the azimuth of this wall, which is 40.67. Just click on my inverter again and give it the azimuth as 40.67. I can easily align it with the save the design. If I go in 3D, now inverter is right here. So this is how my site looks like with all the panels and with all the structures. And now we can click on calculate generation after we have inserted our inverter and saved our design. So this will give you all these parameters, which is the performance ratio, which is coming out to be 75.96, the annual generation around 360 megawatt hours, and specific generation. So once we are done with this, we can view our SLD. So I'll click on line diagram. And it gives you a pop-up to save the wire size calculator. And here is the wire size calculator in the tools on the left-hand side. And we can just go on the wire size calculator. So this is a brand new feature added to the software, where all these details are given, all the module specification, whatever module we have used right now, has been given. The inverter used by us, the specifications for that has been given. You can select the operating voltage as 240. And this is the data for your site with all the temperature details and everything, which has been taken from your weather file. And you can, if you have the correct knowledge, you can adjust the temperature values as well. Here you have all these red marked categories. These can be changed. The values can be changed by you. Here you have the option to select the conduit height. I'll just select it to be 3.5 inches. Next is the type of conductor, temperature correction factor, etc. Now coming on to the SLD part, the connections, which we have here the array to junction box connection. So here I'll just specify the number of conductors as 20. And here you have the option to select the conductor size as well. So this will guide you. This will give you an error if the conductor size isn't appropriate. Next, we have the junction box to inverter. And here I'll just put the conductor as 5. And again, I have the option to select the conductor size. and the ground wire size. On the right hand side, you have all these other connections as well. So I'll just select inverter to AC disconnect. Put the number of current carrying conductors as 1. Let the wire be as 500 AWG only. And then you have the AC disconnect to the interconnections. I can put it as 1. So once you are done, you have all these toggle options. You can just enable them and change your settings. Once you are done with putting up all the values, you can just save your wire size calculator, and it has been saved, updated, and you can go back into the studio. And now I'll just go into the line diagram from the views. And here you have the line diagram. So as you can see, here it is giving you the strings, the number of modules in each string. Next is your junction box right here with all the wires. You can adjust them from those wire size calculator itself. Next you have the inverter and all your ACDB, etc. And you have all the details of whatever we have selected in the wire size calculator. So this is your detailed SLD. This information, all these orientation can be changed from a wire size calculator, and once you save it, it will be updated right here in your SLD. So, and if you click here on the inverter, you have the option to change. If you want to modify the number of strings, etc., you can just delete these existing and add your own modified strings. And if you wish to view the 3LD, the 3-line diagram, you can just switch from SLD to 3LD right here, and you'll get your 3LD at the same place right here with all your wires. So this is the detailed SLD feature, which is a very new feature in the software. So now we are done with this. I'll go back into the 2D view again, and I'll just save my design. And now we can move on to entering our pricing details and the financials. Okay, so if I go back on my design summary page and scroll down, so all the information has been updated. The generation, the loss analysis, and the bill of materials right here, it is similar to what we had earlier. The components shown here are the ones which we have used in the software right now. But there are several components which may be used while the installation of project on the site. And we have provided a list of the possible components. You can just select this. I'll select a lightning, I used to say, suppose. You can enter the company, the details of that particular component. I'll just put up XYZ and the quantity. I'll put it up as 1 and click on add component. So this makes your report more detailed, and this will get reflected in your report, however many components you add in this bill of materials list. So coming down to the pricing, this section has been updated. So in the pricing, you can enter your price per kilowatt. Say suppose I'll take it as 50,000. Tax will be say as 12%. I'll put the discount rate as 0. You can put it up according to your need, and the maintenance cost as well. I'll let it be 0. Accelerated depreciation, I'll put it as 1. And yours as 25. And right here, we can just click on update calculation and we'll get the total cost. So this was something which was present earlier as well. But now if you look at this, you have got several other options for the financing. So earlier we just had the payment via cash only. Now we have introduced multiple other processes or multiple other options like loan, PPA, and lease. So if I click on loan and select template, so you have several sample loan templates right here. So you can select whatever suits you. And similarly for PPA, we have got sample templates right here. And this is the same case for the lease. You've got sample right here. So this is just to make your report, your entire project very detailed. And if the this particular, suppose if you want to select a loan, and this particular template, there is no such template which is suitable for you. You want to add your own details. So you can just, I'll just click on add pricing, and you can just click on organization settings, go on manage financials, and here you have the options to add your own loan. So in the loan section, you have the samples that right here. Else you can just click on add loan and enter the name, project type, your loan type. You have these 4 loan types right here, and the principal amount, etc. And you can just click on add loan. So this will add your customized template for the loan. And for the similarly for the PPA, if you want to add your own, create your own template format, so you can just go in here, enter your details, and add PPA, select your currency, etc. And this is the same case for the lease. These are the existing samples, and you can just click on add lease and add your own. Okay, so coming back to the design, we have added our pricing. Next, we have the option, new feature to add the incentives. So incentives are used for the subsidy, very useful to get the subsidy. So you can just select your incentive right here. You have got multiple incentives. You have the option to search from one of them as well. That was for the incentives. And if I go back on the project summary page and click on add consumption. So I selected my profile earlier, and now I'll just select the type of metering and taking net metering, say 8.5 rupees per kilowatt hour, tariff escalation as 2%, and the consumption profile, I'll click on average monthly consumption and enter my consumption right here. And I'll click on update. So if I just go back and open my design, to save the details as well. Once I enter this 8.5 and 2%, so you need to click on update for each of these categories. And now we can go back to the design, and the parameters will be updated. Okay, so we have our payback period and the LCOE, etc. And all of this has been updated. And once we are done with entering our pricing and our financials and consumption details, we can just click on download design. So you have got 4 options to download here: the report, CAD layout, generation CSV, and the wire size calculator. So you can download the wire size calculator file as well, which we have used or updated in the software. And I'll just click on download report. So in the report, you have got this modified again, this user interface, with making it much more convenient to see all the pages at the same place. So you can just select or deselect them very quickly, no need to scroll or anything. And the first here, right here, is the template. So earlier we had just one template for the report, which was our default template, which you all have seen. Next, we have got 2 more templates, which are named as theme 2 and theme 3. So let's see what these are. So if you just want to see without downloading the report, that how these are going to look like, you can just click on view sample. So this is our theme 2. This is how it looks. And similarly, I can just click on view sample for theme 3. And this is how this looks like. So both the themes are very visually appealing, very good looking themes, and you can just select it, or you can just go with the default theme if you prefer that one. So even after selecting the theme, you can select the orientation and let it be as landscape. And if you do not like the default colors of the theme, you can change your colors from here. You have the option to add your custom colors, primary, secondary, and tertiary. You can do that. And next is the data for 3D model. We have enabled both financial and generation data. And next is the time consideration for shadow analysis. We are considering the time to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For our shadow analysis. You can change it from here. If you want to consider the time from 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. till whatever, 3 or 4 or 5. So you can do that. And now after customizing the entire thing according to our requirement, we'll just export the report. So I'm using theme 3 right now. So our report will be generated in the with the third theme. So this when this report gets downloaded, take a moment. So here we have the report. So you can see how good this looks. This is our design right here. The format of the report is similar to what it had been. I'll just quickly go through the format again. So on the first page, you have your project name, the capacity of your project, and the location coordinates, the link for the 3D model. Here your client name has been mentioned, and the generation date and time. And now next page, we have the system metrics with all the data for your performance ratio, the annual production, etc. On the next page, we have the estimated savings, where you have your payback period, your total savings for the next 25 years, all these calculations, the IRR, etc. And the client name has been mentioned on each and every page on the bottom left. Next is the graphical representation for the estimated savings for the next 25 years. Next is the list of components. So as you can remember, we added a lightning arrestor, which was of XYZ make, and quantity was 1. So it is getting reflected here. So that's what I was trying to show, that all these components, extra components, can be added to the list in the bill of materials, and these will get reflected right here. So in the monthly production, you have all these monthly production represented graphically, and you have the average generation. Next, you have the page for monthly savings. This is the monthly table. As you know, can be customized. If you think any of the pages irrelevant for your client or not really required in the report, you can just deselect that page from your before downloading the report. Next are the field segments. We had 2 types of field segments and the power capacity. Next is the shadow analysis. We selected the time from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. So we are getting it for June 21st, which is the summer solstice. And next is for December 21st, which is the winter solstice. Both these are significant days from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. And we are getting the conclusion as well that our panels are shadow free for 98.27% time, solar time out here. So we get the conclusion as well. On the next page, we have the heat map and the solar axis. So the solar axis is similar to what we saw in the software. The heat map is indication of where the site is receiving a lot of heat or where it is relatively cooler, which are the regions being represented by the purple areas. And this is because of the shadow which is falling, because of, as you can see, these are near the structures and near the boundary of your near the parapet. So that's why the shadow of the parapet is causing these regions to be cooler, relatively cooler than the central regions. Next are your losses. All the three radiation, DC and AC loss have been represented here. Next page, very interesting, is the cost of not going solar. Then this is the comparative analysis of bill with solar and the bill without solar. So the bill with solar is being represented by your gray graphs, and bill without solar is represented by these peach colored graphs. So as you can see, the difference between these two graphs will actually give you the savings for the next 25 years. Next is impact on environment page. So this page can be very, very crucial, very important for the clients whose purpose to install solar on their property is to go green, is to contribute towards reducing global warming. So they will be getting these numbers according to the standard calculations, and they can see how much they are contributing towards the environment. Numbers are more effective than just normal sentences. That's for sure. And last is your thank you page, where you have your company logo and your company contact details. So that was all for our report. So this is the template 3 report. Similarly, you can go for the template 2 report, and you have got these multiple options right here as well. You have the manage components, where you can add your favorites. You have the design default, where you can create your default profile, manage incentives. So here you have the option similar to the financials, where you were able to create your lease and loan options. Here you can create your here you can manage your incentives, create your own incentives. And yes, so I'll just go back into the design studio. And now that was all for the demonstration. These were the new features, and please do try them out. And now we are ready to take up questions if you have any. So you can unmute yourself or type your questions in the chat box. We have some questions. So for copy paste, you can actually ping us. So we'll give you the steps for the site settings which need to be modified. We have a question right here. You can unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Hi, this is Sanjay from Dubai. You can hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, actually, I wanted you to explain related to Dubai, like the currency and the accuracy of your simulation data in relation with PBCs. Because last time what we have seen that there is a difference of the simulation numbers. That's one thing. Secondly, I have some requests also.
Yes.
Like this environment data, you are giving some tables. If you can add some graphics to this, this will really make the report good. Okay. That
on the impact on the environment page, are you referring to that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So for the Dubai specific information, you can just contact us through the chat box, and we'll help you out personally.
We have been doing this, so we don't have problem so far. But since you are here, it looks like if I ask this, I may get some instant reply from you. That's why I'm asking. Okay, what is the issue are? Yeah, what happened? We have done hundreds of projects through Solar Lab. Now, after you updated the software, what we have been facing, that our polygons are disturbed and sitting one after other. So how we can solve this?
Can you repeat your query? Polygons are
Yeah,
being
once
disturbed,
you launch this new software, our old
right?
projects polygons got disturbed and displaced. So what we have been seeing that one polygon is sitting over another, something like that happening. So why this happened and what is the easiest way to solve it?
Okay, so one polygon sitting on top of the other can be a reason that your boundaries, say suppose these boundaries are clashing with each other, the
No, no,
boundaries might
no.
be
You see,
overlapping.
those are completed projects.
Right,
We
so you're
had
talking about the
completed
existing
without any
projects.
trouble.
Okay,
Completed
okay.
projects in the 1 month back before you launch this new version. So
Right,
now, once we opening those old projects, we have seen that got disturbed.
okay.
And you
So,
can see if you go to our account, you can find how many projects we did. There are
right,
around 300-400 projects. Okay, so that is we are facing some problem because client some of the projects are not decided yet. So client
hmm.
want to see the 3D views and they are complaining that we have already received 2 complaints that oh your layout is something wrong. It's not like our building. So this is a problem, and if you have easy solution, please guide us.
So right now I can just tell you to just adjust the boundaries. But if you're facing this problem in multiple projects, then we can have a short meeting afterwards on one-on-one basis, and we can resolve this problem with the team.
Okay then. Okay, we'll schedule a meeting. All right.
Sure, we'll schedule a meeting.
Hello,
Yeah.
Anushka.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Hello, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in this new format, right? When we are changing into 3D and we are doing some design, then all the building as well as the flat site is coming too much bright white. So it is very difficult for us to find the difference in height.
Right. So in the current format, so if I go in the 3D
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
yeah. So this format will actually be right now we are just testing it to get a feedback from the users, which you people, and so we'll make it soon. We are going to make it optional to have this entire Google Maps image to get lifted up. So
Oh.
you will have the option to actually use it or not use it. So this feature is going to come up soon.
No, can you?
No, if you leave this Google images, that's good. It gives realistic views. Andrea is
Right.
saying something different.
No, when we are designing one object, okay, polygon inside, and
Right.
after that, when we go to 3D design, no, all the building as well as the top portion is coming bright white. So if you reduce that brightness during that design, and if we do the refreshing, then only it will be cleared. So during that designing time, it is not. Yeah, I'll show you. 1 minute.
Okay, I got your point. It is just way too much bright, the entire building and the structures, right? So the height
Yes,
difference
yes.
isn't visible.
Yes.
Okay. I've noted it down, and I'll convey this thing to our technical team so they can so that they can resolve it.
Make it like this.
And you can just send that particular screenshot of your 3D view to us.
No, that brightness, no. No, we can see that the brightness is there. No. Understood, sir?
Not understood.
Before it was 1 minute.
Anushka.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can we share? Can we share our screen with the problem? How do you see?
Um,
Anjali.
you can share the screenshot on the chat, and we'll take a look at it after we are done with this webinar. So we'll just immediately have a look at what problem you're facing. We'll get an idea about that. We cannot
Okay.
take. Yeah.
You want us to share the screenshot, right? On the chat box, then you
Yes.
can
Yes.
revert back.
Yes.
Okay, no worries, no problem. Anything else?
That's the problem I faced.
No, another question. Actually, the stringing part you have not explained. If you can explain a bit the stringing, how do the stringing, and is it possible, like, can we have the DC cable length calculated? Is that implemented or?
Okay, sure. So this query, Aman will be able to resolve it better. So I would ask Aman to please unmute himself and explain.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Mr. Sindharma. Can you listen to me? I'm audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so regarding manual stringing part, so there's a different option for the manual stringing, which can be done. So for that, I have to first check, in your account that you are currently using the manual stringing or not. And secondly, what was the question regarding layout?
No, DC cable length calculations.
Okay, so right now we don't have that functionality to calculate the proper length of the DC cable from from the array to the inverter, because that requires a lot of calculation, a lot of designing basically to get the proper way. For that, there's a way that you can use Polygon dimension tool to check the dimension and calculate that manually. But right now, regarding software, it is not there.
It's all right, no problem. I think I wish you people implement it soon. Okay, and
may I ask another question?
Sure, yeah.
Yes. So yes, the software is working appropriately. It works very good, and the new updates are really amazing. We really am anxious to try out. One simple feature that I have found it to be missing from during the initial stage is, like, once you are drawing a polygon, so on that polygon you can always draw another smaller polygons, for example, for the ventilation systems or the multi-rooms examples. This can be done, so it always adds up the height from the base polygon. Am I able to ask the question? This is my first part. My actual question is, I want to reduce the height of that. So for example, there is a dent, or maybe there is somewhat of a lower height on that, or maybe it's like a center pocket which needs to be like 1 meter below the actual height of the ceiling. There is no easy way to do it. So we need to draw a complex polygon of different shapes and exclude a central area and then raise it to the height lower than the actual height of the polygon, the main polygon. So can you add a simple feature to reduce the height of the smaller polygons which sits over a polygon? Is it possible? Am I able to?
I got your point. Basically, you want the height in the minus section, right? Right. To
Yeah,
reduce
right.
the height of at a certain polygon cylinder, something like that, right?
Yeah, right. So it will it should only work while there is it is sitting on top of another polygon, right? Because on the ground floor there is no point to reduce any height.
Right.
So it has only to work when it is sitting on top of another polygon.
Got it.
So that is just something very important feature that would it would help up to do different designs, because many buildings have in certain way they have so many things on the top of the building. So it is rather easier to reduce height to, the simplicity of the project will be better.
Got it. Got the point. I think I will surely share this feedback. I also really like this feedback. We'll surely discuss this with my tech team also, and we'll see if we can implement it, because
right. And my last request would be, can you please brief just summary, a small brief on the wire size calculator section once again, if that is permitted by your team.
Okay, I think Anushka can Anushka, can you please show this Yss calculator?
Yes, sure. Just a second.
I think so this Yss calculator is basically for the permit designs and all that. As you can see on the top, there's a download as PDF option also. So in this, we have added multiple options like junction box, inverter, disconnects, and all that. And on the right side, you can see multiple toggles. So regarding, according to the plan that you have designed, according to the components that you have designed, you can, input the number of strings, the wire size, and everything for the permit, and download that as PDF, and which you could attach it in the permit drawings.
Can you go to that operating voltage drop down menu?
Sure.
So we are seeing these two. So what should I understand from it? For a three-phase inverter, I will be selecting which one?
So the three-phase inverter, I think 415 should be there according to if I talk about Indian region, which
Yeah,
400 also you add.
sorry.
All right.
You have to add 400 as well.
Right. I think I have already seen it right now also. We'll check it on the tech team.
All right. So it's still in the beta stage, right? We are testing out the operation of this Yss calculator. It's in the beta development.
We have made it live, but we are open for suggestions and feedbacks, and we'll constantly be working on that. Okay.
So just to summarize, or maybe I want to be specific on my question, I only have to enter the red typed statements, the red options only, because rather than that, nothing can be changed, I think, or very minor points can be changed. So what exactly I have to do, because there are, I'll tell you something, being an electrical engineer, I can spend some time in doing that, but my employees who are using this for the development of the reports and proposals, they might be struggling to do that. Is there any instruction manual? Are you preparing something like that for this Yss calculator?
I think we must be having that. For that, I also have to check once with the team. I think someone must be having that proper documentation for that.
Okay, that would be important. Acha, okay, right. So 2 days back, I was really struggling to save the file and go back to the project summary page. Was that any kind of development under progress from the software backend team? Because for the last 2 days, I was facing this issue. And once I'm trying to click on the calculate generation, the option was not permitting me to do it. It says error in calculating generation, some sort of error was there. And then when I was clicking to the design summary page, it was taking me back to the project page. So I just need to check down today whether it's working or not. Or if that is a specific problem for my section, I will be contacting through the chat box on the software.
So I will also request you, like, if you could check it once, and then we can maybe help on it. All right. I think if there could be some bug, I think it must have been resolved. We'll be actively working on that also.
Okay, right. So what is the DC stringing procedure? My last question would be this one. So how do I add the strings for each inverter?
So for that, Anushka, could you please go in the design studio and on the SLD part? So if I talk precisely about the SLD, then you can click on the inverter from the right side as she did. And on the bottom, you can see number of strings and modules. And you have the delete and add option also. So according to your side, according to your string needs, you can add that. And you can see the string range also written, which is 11 to 18.
Right.
So from this point, you can adjust the stringing for the SLD. And for the other part, if you want to change the stringing in the design, for that, there's option of manual stringing.
Okay. So even without doing the DC stringing part, we can still find out some calculated generation and all that, because so DC stringing is a very new concept added to this software. Earlier than that, we were not doing this. So we can still do it in the previous format only, right?
Right. Yes. Manual stringing is just working like previously, like it was working. It is the same as in this version also.
Okay. I mean, it is not mandatory to download a report that I have to complete this stringing procedure.
Yes. It's not mandatory. It's basically optional. It's according to your needs. You have a different orientation, and if you want to, get the more accuracy, On design, then you can do the manual stringing.
Right. My last question would be, I'm sorry, I'm continuously saying last and last
No worries.
question.
I think this is
I'm
actually
just coming
what
up
you want.
because I have spent a lot of time in Design Studio in the previous versions. There were some issues. There was one person called Tanya. I kept on talking to her regarding development and all on the earlier versions, maybe 6 months or 8 months back. I gave a lot of input to her regarding the developmental stage of the software. Anyway, my point is, what do you think if I am doing a design which is geometrically accurate, and I'm comparing the same with the PVC generation software? So the generation data from this software, how close would that be with a PVC generation software? I mean, if I'm considering with a P90 quality, and by the default losses parameter set on your software, how close are we in that? I mean, when I'm trying to convince a customer, I really need to be sure on the data received from the software.
Right.
So what is your point of view?
So in this point, like actually a few days ago also, I was checking the PVSys and Solar Labs. So what the major point we have seen are the change in weather files. That right now Solar Labs is using the metronom weather file, and in PVSys, even if we are using metronom weather file in PVSys, there could be the version difference, which would basically impacting the PV temperature losses.
Right.
And regarding to that losses, I think there are 3 to 4%. There's a variation in the generation number of PVSys and Solar Labs.
So Solar Labs tend to show a lower value than PVCs or higher value. A lower
version, lower value.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, by the default losses parameter, I think, yeah. So anyway, a lower commitment is somehow much safer than a higher one, because that would be obnoxious in certain way. Yeah. So anyway, all right, that summarizes all my questions. Thank you for your responses. Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Sanjay again. I have seen this wire size calculator. You have AWGs, okay, only, right? Or you have SWGs. I mean, square mm or SWGs. I would request that if you add square mm, this will be better.
Okay, got your point. I have noticed this point also. Right.
All right.
Sure.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the feedback.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are you getting me? I'm
yes, I can listen to you.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, the question was that you have added this consumption profile for residential and commercial various customer. Very good. But where exactly we are using this consumption profile?
So as you can see, that there are multiple graphical representation of the consumption profile. So once we enter the value of consumption, like regarding site, that how much their average unit consumption per month, and also add in the pricing section that how much we are actually quoting the client, and considering that consumption and the pricing, basically the net present value and cash flow is calculated by the software, which helps in getting the internal rate of return, payback, LCO, and these kind of values.
But in case of net metering, where an import and export rate is same, does it really matter?
Yes, it matters. Like if any client is basically contributing into solar, if they are paying the upfront cost, then they would be want to know that how much LCOE would be, and how much
No, that is understood. That yes, customer wants to know, but will this value vary with these profiles? Let us say for residential, I have a nighttime profile versus a school children growing profile. Will the LCOE or any other value payback period, will it vary with this?
Yes, it will vary a little bit, because just to get the more accurate results, we have developed this graphical basically then how much consumption will be, and it will slightly basically impact all the values regarding IR, payback, and LCOE.
Okay. Thank you.
Aman, sorry. Hi, Aman. Sanjay again.
Yes, yes.
You see, the last time, I mean, the initial version, we faced a lot of problem in adding a site. Okay. And what we used to do is to send an email or chat box, then you reply back. Have you done some improvement so that we can add this site?
Actually, I'm not getting the question. Do you want to add any particular site?
Yes. We could not do it because there was some system by which you add this CSV file, that file, but it never worked. We could not do. And then the other way was we used to send those name of this location and data, and then used to add those data. So is there any improvement in the system so that we can do or add the site on our own?
Okay. Are you referring to weather files of the site?
Yeah, weather files I'm talking.
Okay, okay. I think you can add that, but and it will work fine. And because I have also not got any particular feedback or question or issue regarding the weather file, so I think it is working fine. But also I have to
fine adding. Can you explain how to add a other look?
Yeah, I think you can just click on change option. Anushka, could you please click on change
Right.
option?
Yes, with the weather file, you have the change option right here.
And then you can
click on
upload
upload
the new file.
We can select
upload new file. So, Meteonom now you are taking, right?
Yes, yes.
So then it's okay. I have Meteonom data. And what format you were saying? TM2, TM3.csv supported.
Yeah.
That's good. Then we can do it ourselves now. All right. Clear.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Any other query? If anybody else has any other query, we can take those up a couple more minutes.
Just a question. There is a webinar on 12th house, so it is a repeat of this or an add-on?
Yes, so we'll be having a webinar. This will be the same webinar because if somebody wasn't able to attend it today, so they can attend it on 12th.
Okay, that was the clarification. Thank you.
I would like to know what would be the maximum capacity that we can go with, we can design with the recent update. Is there any change in the maximum capacity that we can design? Any kind of restriction is there? Else is that updated?
I'm not sure about this. Aman, can you answer this question?
So regarding the site capacity, I think it also depends on the RAM and system configuration that you have. And if it is around 8 GB of RAM, I think 10, 12 megawatts can easily be designed. And if it is bigger than that, then I think you would be needing more, extra RAM. Basically, it depends on the system configurations. But there's no such limit on the capacity.
All right, thank you.
Okay, most welcome.
For the panels on curved sheet roof or parabolic roof, you need to make the parabolic roof first. So that would be if you are able to make it using multiple polygons, giving them various tilts. So you can do that. Or if you're facing any problem, you can just contact us through the chat box and we'll share a link with you so that you can make up that dome shape roof. We can share a proper detailed link with you. Yes, please send us a message in the chat box. For this demonstration, the video will also be shared with everybody on the emails. And for the parabolic roof, you can send us a message on the chat box and we'll share the link with you. You can draw your parabolic roof and everything has been explained from panel placement to constructing the roof. Everything has been explained in that. Any other questions? Module cleaning points. So, what I've understood it, you are referring to the maintenance part. I'm not able to get your question exactly. If you can just unmute yourself and explain, or if you can send a picture or illustration of what you're trying to explain on the chat box, that would be helpful. You can ping us up on the chat box and we'll share the settings with you. For the copy paste option on Firefox, you need to enable your clipboard settings, and we'll share you the Firefox specific settings.
Hello, now audible?
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, there is a designing part. Whenever a customer asks to show the module cleaning system nearest the walkway, so in the software there is no parts for designing the cleaning system. So we can add these features. So easily we can draw on the shed nearest walkway. There is a parts uh, walkway uh, and safety railing other things. So there is a no part for module cleaning systems. So it is like very very useful to us.
Right. So thank you for the suggestions. I'll forward this. But right now, the software is focusing basically for the design and simulation, and we'll see what we can do to include this particular feature.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, you're audible.
Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you. This is Ashish Ravirkar. I'm calling from Indore actually. And sorry, but actually I joined this meeting little late, so might be this subject has already been touched by someone. So I'm just repeating, might be possible. Means this is a possibility. The thing is, actually when I saw this, particularly the cable sizing and everything.
Right.
So that time I was trying to do something with that, with the selection of the cable which I'm going to use for my forthcoming project. But unfortunately, I could not able to succeed in that because I could not able to figure out from where I can put those values, my cable sizes or everything, and then I can get the actual reading or the losses percentage and everything, whatever you have shown already on the screen. So can you please help me to understand that how I can do that, particularly with this software?
Sure, you can. Again, we can have a one-on-one meeting and we can discuss this entire thing in detail.
Okay.
So that your entire queries will be clear. So you can just send a message to us and we'll schedule a meeting as soon as possible for this.
Okay. Right now it is not possible in brief even.
So just a second. So I'm assuming you're referring to the wire size calculator only. Were you referring to this only?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Miss, your voice is little crack actually. Cracking. I don't know what to. Yeah.
Just a second. Let me check. Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, are you referring to this wire size calculator? Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me. Yeah, were you referring to this wire size calculator only?
Yes.
Yes. So, in terms of the wire size, the conductor sizes and everything, you have been specified the connections. So, from the junction box, you can select your wire sizing from here, from these options. You have a drop-down menu for the entire thing.
What do you mean by this AWG? I could not able to understand actually this. This is wire gauge or something?
Yes, and we'll be putting up square mm as well for the units, so that the units are more familiar. So right now the unit are in AWG, we'll be putting this up in square mm. So we'll be doing that.
Yeah, just for an example, I'm using a 6 square mm cable size, DC cable size, 1 core 6 square mm. So where I should put and how I can put in this table particularly?
Even I'm not very sure about this. Aman, can you just take up this question?
Just 1 second. I think I'm referring to the wire size and loss calculation right now. Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, could you repeat the question once?
No, just for an example, if I want to put in DC cable, I just want to put 1 core 6 square mm cable. So where I should put this value, and because I could not able to put this value in this table.
Got your point. So basically, like how this calculator works is that in the red section, it is showing number of current carrying conductors, which is basically the number of strings. So once you input the number of strings, it will automatically detect the conductor size regarding, according to the current and all that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is in the AWG section, and we are also working on the square mm. So once it is in square mm, let's say it is showing 4 square mm, and you want to change. So then you can just normally click on the drop down and change it to 6 square mm.
Okay, so AWG is wire gauge or something. What exactly the unit you are using here?
Yes. Also, basically there are two SI units for wire. One is square mm and one is AWG. So AWG is usually mostly used in the US kind of side, US and Europe. Okay. While in India mostly I think it is about square mm.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're also working on the square mm also. So it will also be coming live soon.
Yeah, that's why I'm little bit confused with this.
Right.
Okay, so from this setting we can change these units.
Sorry, from settings what?
Right now your thumb is on the setting symbol, so that's why I'm just asking. Yeah.
Okay.
Cursor was there, so I thought that it might be possible to change this unit.
Okay, no. Right now it is in AWG, but square mm also will be launching soon.
Okay, so might be it is available on Google, the conversion of AWG.
And yes, it can be. Yeah, conversion is possible.
Okay.
And everything. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay.
Right. Is there any more questions? You can put up in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask us. So I believe there are no more questions, and so for that we are ending this session now. And we'll be sharing this particular link over your mail also. And in case you face any particular query, and in case you want any meeting or there's any particular doubt, then you always have the chat box icon. You can put up there and we'll be happy to answer you and help you regarding the software. Thank you for joining. I hope this was a really informative session for you.